Joining us now to talk about that and many other issues, Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris. Mayor Harris, welcome. Glad to have you here. How have you been?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
First and foremost, many eyes were on last night's school board meeting. You want people to take interest in education, and they certainly have when it comes to this, unfortunately. Are you surprised at all how this played out?
I'm not surprised. I think that all of us had a sense of how the vote would go last night. I was a supporter of keeping Marie Fagans and worked very hard to see if I could persuade school board members, having met with a lot of the school board members in person. I talked to them over the phone, talked to a lot of the staff, talked to some of the former superintendents, and tried to figure out what the path forward was for a compromise. But it couldn't be found, at least not in the time frame, and so I was not surprised. At this point, though, Alex, to you and to the rest of the community, we've got to move forward. Right? We've got 100,000 students in our school district. We've got a new interim superintendent. And we've got too much at stake that is happening right now, like the Frazier School. We want to make sure that that's built. We want to make sure that the budget is delivered on time, and we're in the budget season almost right now. And so we've got a whole lot to do. And so it happened, and now we got to turn the page. We got to look to Dr. Richmond and his leadership and try to move our system forward.
I know you mentioned the Frazier School, which we have talked about many times right here on WREG. When it comes to funding for it, where's that right now? Because we know there was also some political maneuvering just recently when it comes to maybe that being kind of tied to Dr. Fagans.
That's right. So unfortunately, over the last few weeks, we haven't had an effort to take the money from Frazier, from that community, from those kids. I think Amber Mills led the latest fight to take the money from the kids and from the Frazier community. The good news is we were able to beat Commissioner Mills, and Commissioner Ford also pitched in to help support her in that effort to take the money. We were able to beat those two and keep the money preserved for Frazier and the community. So there's $112 million that we have set aside to invest in the Frazier community, build the new high school, and set a template for what we could do all over the community. The good news is Dr. Richmond is uniquely positioned to make it happen. He's obviously been in the school system for many,
30 years.
And he's from Frazier. And he's from Frazier. And so no one has more of an interest in seeing this project come to fruition than I think Dr. Richmond, based on what I can tell from his background.
Well, let's hope it happens for sure. Obviously, another concern is maybe the state of Tennessee moving in, as some state lawmakers have said, if Fagans goes, which some were upset and hoping would not happen, that they said the state might have to take in. Will that happen, and what are your concerns about that?
So at the same time, I've been reaching out to school board members and also communicated with Dr. Richmond today. I'll be reaching out very soon to Mark White. I think we will be able to find a way forward and hopefully eliminate the need for additional state intervention. Maybe there's some reforms at the edges, but I plan to be talking to Mark White about how we can all pull back and look forward. I know the feelings are raw right now for a lot of folks in this community, but we're going to have to move forward. We've got too much at stake, so we can't to reminisce about what could have been at this point.
You're right about that. Let's talk about another issue that I know is kind of near and dear to your heart when it comes to, it seems like everybody these days has a cell phone. They want to have or that internet connection, but when it comes to broadband access, that's still a challenge for a lot of folks right here in Memphis and Shelby County and throughout the Mid-South.
Absolutely, and the city and county, thanks to a lot of support from state grant makers and federal grant makers, are in a position to extend internet connectivity across our community, so we continue to do that. Like you say, broadband is as essential today as drinking water. I mean, it's a utility, and everyone needs access, and so we're going to be working out on that in the coming days and weeks.
And from some of the stats, Mayor, that you're hearing, are we talking about thousands of folks in this area who don't have access?
I think thousands of folks is probably about right. So a lot of folks don't have the access, and a lot of kids are not able to do some of their homework because they don't have access at home, and it requires internet access and also the device to get access in order for them to accomplish some of the tasks they're assigned at school. So we want to make sure that we continue to make improvements on that problem, and I think we will be able to.
One last thing here, Shelby County Jail, where do things kind of stand with that? You know, we've heard the sheriff, especially in recent months, still talk about funding, still talk about repairs that are needed. What can be done, if anything, or what's already being done that maybe we don't know about?
Well, the most important thing for detention facilities in Shelby County is with respect to the youth detention facility. So it's very under the radar, but you've heard a few stories here or there, and the sheriff would like to pull out of that facility and dedicate his efforts elsewhere. And so that facility is in limbo. We've got to come up with a solution for that. And so the juvenile court judge and yours truly have been working steadily on how to make sure that that facility is taken care of. That's the number one issue. It's not 201 Poplar. I agree there's some stuff going on at 201 Poplar,
Right.
but it's the youth in detention
Gotcha.
that we are not transporting into their court dates, and we need to have a plan for how to administer the facility. Juvenile court judge and are working on that. We're hopeful that we'll hear back from the sheriff, and the sheriff will agree to our proposal.
Mayor, we'll stay on top of it. Always
a
good
lot.
to see you. We'd love
Thanks.
to have you back.